This episode is accidentally brought to you by Street Legal IPA from Twin Sails. And my God, I hope there's no semen in this. Let's start the show.
Guten Tag, everybody. This is Designers Are the Worst, your new least favorite show about an exclusively visual medium cleverly brought to you in an audio format. I am Matt, and I am very tired today.
And my name is Marcus, and I am now realizing I'm a little hungover today.
It's going to be a low-key show.
Even though it's 6 p.m., it's going to be more NPR than anything else.
You can be, who's it? I only know Ira Glass.
Sweaty balls. That's my only reference right now. My brain is, as you said, one step back from the rest of me.
Yeah, it's a good time to be alive, and thank you for coming back and checking out the show. We very much appreciate it. We got 1 5-star review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts now.
Really?
I just happen to know this person. Oh. So thank you, initials RM. You know who you are. They said their favorite part of the show is when Ryan is commenting from the couch. And
can we delete those at any point?
We can report them as offensive, which I would love to. But Ryan's not here tonight from the couch, so when she shakes her head, you won't be able to hear it. Which also, last week I mentioned my dear friend Sweaty Vetter. Speaking of sweaty balls, and I stayed at his place last Friday, and he's like, I've been listening. I'm like, good.
Well, I have to go.
And he said my favorite part out of all of them was when Ryan was shaking her head from the couch, and you said, "That's right, Ryan. Everybody can hear you shaking your head on the microphone." And he brought it up like 4 times that night, and it made me feel like we struck a chord because Sweaty Vetter is a very discerning man. He has only exceptional taste. So
only the highest of classes.
He does actually. I discussed it with his lady friend about how he has $0, but very, very fancy taste.
I only order from the non-dollar menu.
At our at Ryan and I's wedding rehearsal dinner, he ordered like some $27 salmon meal or something like that. And Sweaty Vetter knows what I'm talking about. He knows it was coming. He's smiling right now in his fucking warehouse job like a creep, headphones in. And then he eats his meal. I don't think he finished it. And then the bill came, and he slid it over to his lady, and he went, "You know who I am." And she paid it. I was like, "You must have a 90-inch wiener, because God bless you."
Holy shit.
Yeah, so if you're just joining us 4 minutes in, sorry about that.
So I think right off the bat, we should talk a quick topic about bad timing.
If it wasn't for shit timing, I would not recognize timing.
Yeah. So in last week's episode, if you happen to catch that one, we talked about somebody redesigning Mein Kampf, and there was a few other jokes in there. Boy, did we not know what was going to happen that weekend before we released the episode.
2 days later, it was like the sequel to Mississippi Burning down in the States, which was horrendous to see. And then I don't know if this is why designers are the worst, but I thought about myself almost immediately, and I said, "Oh no, we talked about the redesign of Mein Kampf 2 days before all this shit happened, and this is set to release in 3 days."
Yeah.
And
at least we are clear in stating that it was the ramblings of a fucking
an idiot
person.
If you didn't listen to that episode, we weren't talking about it like Rotten Tomatoes and giving it 90%. It's a shit situation. But what we were discussing was this very old famous book designer who's done some amazing work redesigning that horrible text as an educational tool for other people to better understand how fucked up this person was. So timing, my goodness.
Yeah, we had no way of knowing, but you know, at the end of the day, we still have a 5-star review now.
That was before last week's episode. We may have different ones now.
That person will go in and change it to a 1-star.
Well, then they're the real problem.
Yeah,
it's not us. But yeah, so I actually seriously considered, just for a moment, maybe I should just say we're on vacation because that's kind of fucked up. But timing sucks. Everything can bump heads at some point, and what's going down there is terrible. But it's nice to be in Victoria today.
It is.
It's a lovely day.
It is a beautiful, beautiful sunny day in Victoria.
And it made me think, when I was preparing for the show today, was just, that's probably the worst example of timing that I've ever been involved with. But I started thinking about other, horrible timing or really terrible circumstances or coincidences that happened during a project. And I was wondering if you had anything that like you presented to a client and they're like, this doesn't look like a dick to you. And then they show it to you and go, oh no, I did something dumb.
No, I haven't. My timing fiascos are usually the following. Hey, where's so-and-so? What's he up to? And then continuing conversation. And then I get nudged and I go, what? And then I get nudged again and I go, what? And then I get told they broke up a month ago. And nobody told me.
I did that on last Saturday.
Yeah, I'm really good at referencing people who either are not alive anymore, who nobody told me that they weren't, or people who aren't together anymore. And I'm wondering what they're up to. We should hang out.
Yeah, I asked my wife's
wives.
My wife? Plural? Not plural. Possessional, belonging to wife. Her friend about
Mormon.
This guy I heard she was dating who owned like a whiskey distillery. I was like, she should seriously pursue this relationship because I would like that very much. And then I saw her for the first time in years. I'm like, hey, what's up with your whiskey boyfriend? She's like, we're broken up. And the first thing that came to mind, I said, who gives a shit? I was like, that's probably kind of mean. But she's like, yeah, I found somebody else. I'm like, oh, cool. But it would have been cool for me if you stayed with whiskey guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, it made me think.
Have you had bad timing situations in projects?
Yes. I didn't think about this prior, but years ago, I had a client, the meeting that I had prior, and we're talking about meetings today, later on.
So it's going to be...
Buckle in, mother shucker.
Like a great meeting. It's going to have no agenda, no focus.
Long as fuck.
And everyone's going to get a chance to have their voice heard.
And if they don't, we're not going to end it. Luckily, it's
all two of us.
Luckily, there's just two of us today, so we can shut it down at any time, and it's a successful meeting. But years ago, I had a client who... The meeting prior showed me photos of her brand new puppy. She got adopted a brother and a sister puppy, and she was just absolutely in love with them. 2 weeks later, had another meeting, and we were in a busy coffee shop at the time. We had offices downtown, but I didn't want to be in there. I just wanted to get out. So I'm like, I'll buy a coffee. We'll talk about it. But it was so goddamn busy for whatever reason. And everyone was so loud. And we sat down and I said, so how are your puppies? Just making small talk. And then I don't know if you've ever seen that episode of Seinfeld, if you're listening, I'm guaranteed Marcus has, where Kramer's dating the low talker or the quiet talker, where Jerry ends up wearing the puffy shirt.
Yeah. So
that's basically what she replied to me. It was like her mouth was moving, but words weren't coming out. I said, how are your puppies? And she goes, and I went, oh, that's great. And then she gave me a weird look. And I was like, what's that? And she's like, oh, it's just a weird reaction. I'm like, what happened? And she goes, I just told you one of them died. And I said, not hearing what she said, I said, that's great.
I fucking hate dogs.
Like looking back at it now, I could have rolled it off being like, yeah, I would have loved to have been an only child, but No, that
You could have changed it to like, oh, I didn't say that's great. I said that's ape. Like ape shit crazy.
or that's 8 out of 10 good. It's not perfect. It's not ideal.
That's 8 out of 10 bad news.
It could be worse. It could be better. So that was my bad timing. And I still don't feel bad about it. I couldn't hear. It was fine. Fucking dogs die every day.
You know what? It's in the past. We move on.
Yeah.
You either learn or you don't. Who cares?
What is it? Live, laugh, love, learn. What's on the live?
Oh, on every
Yeah.
somebody's wall.
Yeah.
Or desk or isn't it just live, laugh, love?
Sure.
I ranted about this weeks ago.
Yeah, and it hasn't gotten better because it's still now. Every time I see anything remotely resembling it, like on a T-shirt, there's so many wine T-shirts that my wife pointed out to me, and yeah, it's all like, "I'll have my coffee after I have my wine," but they're all in that live, laugh, love, drink wine kind of thing. Like they're fucking all super hilarious.
Yes.
But anyway, apologies for last episode, given what's happened. If you're listening to this in, I don't know, 2018, then don't Google what we're talking about. It's not a positive experience.
It's hopefully a moment in history that will be. Anyways, I couldn't think of anything positive to come out of that. Actually, that was terrible.
So, what have you been up to, young man?
What the hell?
What's in the news today?
What happened last week? Oh yeah, I remember what happened last week. We for some reason I thought last week I was on vacation, but I was not.
Nope.
Not a whole lot. Just been working hard, really giving it 110%.
Hardly working, am I right?
I have a client that we're working with at my day job, and it is great because they came to us and they had analytics on their site.
Mm-hmm.
So all the decisions that we're making is actually backed by data. Usually when you get a client and you have to make decisions with your gut and your butt, and those are two things to never make a decision.
They both stank.
Exactly. So it's been a lot of writing more than designing, which has been nice. A lot of like data analysis and not feeling like it's the normal day to day, which has been a really nice break from staring at Sketch or anything else.
Yeah, I've had Sketch open for about a week and a half because there's just 3 things going on at the same time. And I'm ready to do something other than the website for a while.
Yeah. And I think I've talked about this before, the Sketch wonderfulness of here's an update. No, here's a fix for the update. Just kidding. Here's another fix for that update.
Now we want $80 more.
And yeah, and I found a new wonderful bug where I threw in some text and I was setting the height of it, and all of a sudden the bottom line just disappears.
That it's so horrifyingly bad with text. Like if you have a heading and then you have a paragraph, or like a subheading and then a paragraph, if you try to adjust the leading on the paragraph, it adjusts it for the whole block, not just for what you've selected.
Yeah.
And then there are other times, where it'll like half the text will just vanish for no fucking reason. It is an absolute nightmare for text. I can't stand it.
It's amazing that shit like that still continues to happen. And it really makes me want Adobe to finish wrapping up their stuff and like bring it out of beta.
Yeah, if none of you have used Adobe Experience Design, or they're calling it like XD, check it out because it is going to be the Sketch killer. It's going to be like Sketch is like some couple making out in California in like the 70s, and Adobe Experience Design is the Zodiac killer. It's watching. It's been watching for a while, and it's creeping. Yeah. And when it goes away, Sketch is going to be living in a file folder called Investigations.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention last week. Oh, I guess I didn't because we didn't really do much of an intro or catch up. But well, when I was on vacation, I was over in Chilliwack for a little bit.
The Whack. It's outside Vancouver, y'all. Lots of corn. Lots of
the best corn you'll ever have
in Chilliwack.
Yeah, there's not much else going on there. Yeah,
they have water slides.
That's Cultus Lake.
It's it's all a
It's
field.
close.
It's a pretty big field of an area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing I've gotten to or started doing in smaller towns is find the local used bookstores and go right for the design art section because you never know like what random books that somebody has turned in that you're going to find. And I found one there. And what happened was I didn't buy it because I left to go grab everybody, and then I was going to come back, and I completely forgot
He's
about
talking
it.
about everybody in the public washroom.
Yes.
Gimme.
Guys, I found another hole in the wall.
Wait,
stick something in.
made another hole in the wall.
Used my teeth. And it was a lettering book, and it was $5, and I'm fucking so angry I forgot to buy it. But it was 2 books in one where they'd combined 2 lettering example books from like I think it was the early or like mid 1900s, and you go through it, and it's funny like when the Dobels were here and they're talking about like learning the lettering, it had all of those, like not how to do them, like not how to the proper strokes, but it had
examples,
had all these examples, and I know this is the wrong term, but the ligatures, maybe
the fancy parts.
Yeah, like the fancy words to add to script font and to add to like banners around font. And it was so interesting to find that because you wouldn't find that in most bookstores.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, there's a bookstore in town that I go to with the kids and Ryan regularly. And I always just kind of walk by the design section, which is probably about like 9 inches wide. And just to see if anything new, because you can find like some rare or even just book you never would have thought to look up, but it's just full of amazing shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's $8, but you buy it, you go home just out of curiosity. I'll look it up on like eBay, and people are selling it for like $250 somewhere, like very rare text. I'm like, oh, this thing, it has like a coffee stain in the front, but other than that, it's like perfect. So it's just a cool thing to look at. And what I like to do is I'll look at them for, like a year or something like that. I'll just keep checking back and like, oh, I thought I saw something in there. And then once it's kind of all in the head and like what to look up if you're looking for something else, I'll just like hand it off to somebody else. Like, hey, there's a bunch of cool shit in here. Like I gave the Dobels like a fistful of old woodcut books.
Oh.
And they collect books. So like I looked at them 100 times and I was like, hey, you guys probably dig these. And they're like, holy shit, blah, blah, blah. And like they're just going through and like, and check out the slant on that letter and check out this and check out that. So it meant something to me because it was just old, cool design. And it meant something more to them because it's like, look at all the new shit, like new ideas.
Yeah.
That even if they could pick like 10 new ideas out of each book, and they have a gnarly book collection. They're showing me in their...
Well, a photo collection too.
Yeah.
Of just old science stuff that nobody has.
Yeah. Yeah. They have just like if you ever stuck for an idea, just look at like old hand painted signs, because it's not just like washroom here or like corn 8 cents. It's like they used to paint the sides of barns. This huge portrait of like a woman drinking like a Pepsi forever ago, or like a bunch of Marines on the side of a barn. It was a bunch of it was on the sides of barns because those were the billboards.
Because that's roadside, yeah.
Yeah, so it's old inspiration, which was functional design that served a purpose, which is why I think it strikes a chord, because it's hard to look at art and think of something about design for me, because I love art because it's cool, but I can't see anything functional in it a lot of the time. Like, of course, depending on the artist, but if you look at really, really old design stuff, a lot of it is art because it's these huge painted murals.
Design and art.
But it had to serve a purpose.
What's the difference?
But it's also like 2 dudes with like a fucking haystack out of their mouth. Yeah. Just like for 2 days painting on the side of a barn, one of, 6 they had to do that week.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this shit just has to work. We have to get the point across. And you're like, oh, I like how you did that because it's super clear. Yeah. So it has a purpose, and they served it. And speaking of that, what I did in the past week is took a trip to Vancouver. Went to see some family went to a Rancid / Dropkick Murphys concert, which was so goddamn good.
It was good, eh?
It was.
Where was that at?
It was at the University of British Columbia at the
Thunderbird Stadium.
No, it was
not Thunderbird.
where they had their hockey rink. And so it's
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the arena in town here. They basically put a bunch of wood on the hockey rink on the ice, and it's the stage, it's the crowd, and then all the seats and all that. But yeah, it was fucking so good. But one thing, the reason I bring this up is because going through Vancouver on the SkyTrain, which if it's an elevated train, it's a train above the road for anybody who doesn't know.
It's a train in the sky.
It's a train in the sky. How many shit signs and brands and copywriting and all that are everywhere? Because on the SkyTrain, you're flying by above traffic. You never stop until you get to the next station. You're just like flying through every municipality or little town or little fucking enclave or whatever. And I came to realize that when all of the other businesses around you kind of look like shit, you can get away with looking like shit if your products are good. I didn't see any really good design, any really good branding, thoughtful branding. I'm not saying expensive or huge or extravagant. I'm just saying like quality. This is to the point and this is appropriate and you understand what this is. I didn't see any of that until you get to downtown Vancouver. But all the outlying areas, everything has kind of equal weight.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get a lot of established businesses or just businesses that have been there forever because they pay low rent too. And so they don't, it's not crucial for them to stand out.
No, and
because they're not competing.
That's very true. And also in a much larger city, like we're here in Victoria, British Columbia, which is like 300 and something thousand people. It's a city. But we don't have billboards here. We don't have tiny billboards on the tops of cabs. We're not inundated with advertising wherever we go. I'm looking across the street right now. I see trees. I see road signs. You walk downtown, you don't see advertisements for businesses unless it's in that business's window. But when you go to Vancouver, you see shit everywhere. Like you'll be walking through some like terrible alley where it's just piss and junkies everywhere, which I find delightful because it's the spice of the city.
It's culture.
It is culture. But then you look up and there's like a Rolex watch billboard on the side of a building. It's
usually a Jimmy Pattison production.
Yeah, who's kind of like the overlord of like every business here in British Columbia. But it's the difference that I noticed right away was, and I hadn't thought about it until we started doing this podcast and thinking more, big picture about design or getting more granular, was in large cities, it's much more advertising with a shotgun because fucking 800,000 people are going to walk by this every day. Where in medium to smaller places, it's like, no, you have to talk to the people when they're here because it's never in their mind when they're not there or not near it or not seeking it out. It's not like exposure where I read an article from somebody within the Mercedes-Benz Corporation, and they say, we don't put out Mercedes-Benz ads so you'll go out and buy one today. We put one out so in 35 years, when you're an adult and you have money, you'll buy one. And it's just
ambitious.
But it's the exposure, like expose them early and often. And then one day when they consider a purchase, be like, oh, I've seen this shit all my life. That's the one for me because I know it.
I mean, I guess that would make sense why you would see a Rolex ad like on a giant billboard next to a laundromat and a gas station.
Yeah.
Or even a McDonald's ad. It's like, why, as Seinfeld said, why are they still advertising? It's like, you didn't forget about them.
Yeah.
It's Pepsi and Coke. You're not going to forget about them.
No, but it's, I'm hungry. What should I get? It flashes in your head. Oh, they put they have like an iguana burger or something. Like, I haven't tried that yet.
Or
I haven't exhausted the menu yet.
Or you just randomly sing the theme song or the tune,
which my kids were doing last week. My kids have never been to McDonald's. We're not like high and mighty shit. We don't take them for shit.
They're missing out. There's some medium quality things there.
They were missing out because when I was a lot younger, I ate McDonald's a lot because it was cheap as shit.
Yeah.
And then I saw over the years, I tasted how the quality went down, and it was never like high quality. It was like, oh, that tastes like a quarter pounder, and it's like, now that tastes like mayonnaise and cheese. And everything about it's like, it's smaller. It tastes more like shit. So like we give our kids crap to eat, but it's always like, well, let's go to like the local vegan, because we're hippies, burger place or whatever. We'll get them something not great for them, deep fried and all that. But McDonald's is never a consideration. But my kids were still singing the song. They've never been there in their lives.
And you don't have cable?
No, we don't have cable.
And you probably don't listen to the radio?
Nope.
So there's only could be two places that they would have heard it from. Is one, if they're watching videos on the internet and a pre-roll commercial,
yeah.
or their friends they saw it at their friend's house.
It could be.
That's really weird though.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing, is that exposure young. Like I remember seeing posters with like Lamborghini Countachs when I was a kid.
Oh,
like in the 80s,
every young boy either had the poster or wanted the poster or eventually wanted the car. But then when you actually, Top Gear did a great review of the car, or just a drive in it, and it's a fucking piece of shit. Like, yeah, it's powerful. You can't see anything. Like,
oh no.
But
like,
man, it looks so good on a poster.
It's a big windshield, but it's at like it's at like a 7%, or actually, at like a 7% grade. So it's just like, it's almost flat, but it looks fucking mean and awesome. And when I was a kid, I said, that's a car I want when I'm older, because that looks like the coolest car on the planet.
And that's what cool people drive.
Exactly. And my oldest kid just turned 15 2 weeks ago. And he's become obsessed with cars, like just like fucking high dollar cars. I don't know where he gets it from, because we drive a Dodge Journey and we're proud to have it. But we're not flashy folk, but he's just like really got into these cars. And so there's a place in town. And if any of you are cabillionaires and you're listening and you're into cars, we urge you to buy one from Silver Arrow Motors in town. They're this like high end car broker internationally. I think
is it the one that's next to the arena?
No, there's one. No, it's hidden in like Junkie Town. What? Nobody would ever think to look for it there, because they don't need passerbys bothering them all day. So I found them out like years ago, and I contacted them. And I was like, hey, my son, he's about to turn 15. The only thing he likes is cars. He loves high-end imports. He's just a car dude. He loves, like, we talk car design every day. He just loves it. Like,
but usually that comes from like, either car culture is in the family.
Yeah.
Like parents have a nice car or something, or the older brother has a nice car.
He is the older brother.
Exactly. Or the people you go to school with, you see somebody get like a Honda CRX or CRV, whatever,
CRX.
One of those little shitty cars.
Yeah.
And then that kind of sparks your interest, and then you go and buy the Mazda truck, and then you lower it and you put the fucking license plate on it crooked and on the tailgate, not the proper place.
Exactly. But
there's none of that.
No.
So
no. Well, there is, in that he and I have always talked about cars. I love cars. I love like vintage muscle cars. My dream car is like a 1930 Model A rat rod, fucking pay the dough bells to paint the shit out of it, and just like rust bucket, no top to it. Basically, like my knees are touching my chin when I drive it, and the gear shifter is like 4 feet in the air. That's like my perfect car ever. And I've always taken him to car shows and like showing him cool cars, but like all kinds, like, oh, look at this fucking Bugatti. Like, I just sent him an article yesterday. This Bugatti is now the fastest car a regular human can buy. But I've always shared with him stuff like that, and he's really grasped onto like the aesthetic and design and performance and basically logic of cars. Like, he's like, check out this door handle. Like, what I was gonna say is Silver Arrow Motors. Check them out because they have a fucking ridiculous lineup of cars. I emailed the owner. I was like, my kid's about to turn 15. The only thing he digs really is cars. Like, he probably likes girls and fucking whatever, but he's not into sports. He doesn't do drugs. He doesn't like, he's basically like the dream teenager. And I said, can he look at the cars for a while? And the owner was awesome. He got right back to me. He said, we're always happy to share our knowledge with these beautiful cars with younger people to carry it on. So we were talking about the Lamborghini Countach. They had a Lamborghini Diablo up on like the second floor of this like lift.
Sorry, this is in town?
Yeah, I'll take you there.
What the fuck?
Matt Andres last week was asking me about it. He's like, where the fuck did you go and how can you bring me there? We were in the room with $20-30 million worth of cars, and it wasn't the biggest room in the world.
Sorry, where in town though? Like what area?
Rock Bay.
What?
Yeah, Junkie Town.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, we'll go there. We're going to go back in the fall to check out all the new shit they have.
Oh my God.
So we're talking about dream cars and just like when we were kids, the things that were designed to look the meanest and the coolest and just like the best.
Yeah.
So they had a Lamborghini Diablo, a white one.
El Diablo.
It looked like you could throw it against a wall and it would stick in the wall. Like everything was a corner, and it just looked fast and mean. Well, what they had, the most expensive one they had was a Ferrari F40. Let's see if I can bring it up here.
I don't know my Ferraris except for I want to say the 350.
It could be
the F40.
Could be something maybe that but the Ferrari F40. As soon as I bring it up, and for anybody listening, we're going to post this at designersartheworst.com, and go there, check it out, and you'll see exactly what I got. A photo.
Oh, yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, motherfucker. That's a $1.4 million son of a bitch. And again, go to designersartheworst.com and check out the photo.
And that's in town
right now.
What? Who's buying this? Well, actually, I do know who's buying it, but
yeah. So
Victoria's got a lot of old money.
Yeah, a lot of old money, but
actually a lot of money in general.
Design-wise, this car is like the epitome of 80s fuck you sports car.
Super synth techno wave.
Yeah, so like this is almost a spaceship that nobody can afford, except for like one guy with fingerless gloves and aviators and like a blown out haircut with cocaine dust everywhere.
That car doesn't do anything for me.
Oh,
but see, if they had a murdered out Dodge Charger SS,
they had
then you'd have to pull me away from it.
That's the thing, is that I see this Ferrari, I see the Lamborghini, I see all this old stuff. They had an old split window Corvette Stingray, which I think it's 67 and a half. They only made it for half a year. And then they made like the full window back. But there was the thing was not, most of the cars were not my taste, but seeing them in person, you really don't realize how much thought and design goes into a car until you see an absolutely beautiful car, which you may never have put a poster up in your room as a kid, but you see it in person and you're like, holy fuck, this thing is like beautiful in a way.
Oh, well, and a lot of those supercars as well is they're not made in a traditional factory like a GM or Ford would be or what have you. They're made by a small team of people, and every piece of leather is hand stitched and all the wood is custom fabricated, and everything on it takes a while to make because they're making it like each individual piece to be so perfect on that car. And you're driving around, one could consider a piece of art.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of the amount of time and care and passion that went into it. The people that are building it aren't just Joe Blow from the street who like, I can put together transmission. No, these are like super professionals and almost could be considered artists in their own way.
Well, they can, and I'll give you an example about that Ferrari F40. So for all you people out there saying you make bespoke shit, and you're some like prick with everybody else's haircut making like mustache wax in your fucking who gives a shit garage or your shop or whatever it is, and then people ask you what you do and say, I make bespoke items. The original bespoke was shit like this, made by hand because it had to be, and there's no other way around it. So for this Ferrari F40, Tim, this really nice guy who was walking us around at Silver Arrow, said, every Ferrari is painted by two guys. And I was like, oh yeah? He's like,
Mario
oh no.
and Luigi.
I made that joke in front of him.
Damn it.
And I was like, so it's like two guys a car? He's like, no. Two guys paint the cars. It's either one or the other. And every Ferrari gets out of the factory, gets one coat of paint because it's lighter and it'll make it go faster. So when you see a Ferrari and it's red, it looks like red glass. That's one coat of paint applied by one of two highly skilled professionals, and that's who also probably don't tell people they make bespoke cars at the fucking wine bar in Italy after.
That paint's going to be them. It's Benjamin Moore paint. The god at the hardware store.
Yeah.
And people are like, what do you do? I paint cars. Oh, that sounds boring. It's like,
it sure does.
I paint Lamborghinis, motherfucker.
Yeah. And it's just that everybody's touting the benefits of it's got to be handmade. It's like handmade can be shit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
The only reason there's two people that paint these cars is because they know how to do it perfectly. If they brought any other asshole on the street who's like, oh, I paint bike frames and I do this, whatever, he'll fuck up a Ferrari and then he's out of Italy for good. You're done.
Well, especially if you're only doing one coat.
One coat. And apparently the guys had two different styles. Like there's always two guys doing it. And they each have a different style, like even back in the day. So if you are so into Ferraris and you want one style over the other one, you have to go for the VIN number and then trace it back into the factory to the timesheets and the work logs to find out what fucking guy painted that car that day if you want that Jesus paint job. Christ. And if you have a 50-50 shot of being the guy you're hoping for. And 999 of 1,000 people wouldn't know the difference, but it matters to this person. And that's the difference. So that's the quality and the design, and that all comes down to style, where they're all working with the same material, with the same paints, with the same equipment, all that, but they have their own take on it that I will probably never be able to see unless it's explicitly explained to me.
I'd love to see a documentary on that.
Yeah.
Because like I watch Top Gear, or at least I used to. And whenever they have supercars or Lamborghinis specifically, they discuss the horsepower, its performance, its specs, things like that. But shit like that's never brought up because granted that's not the focus of the show, but that is a super fun thing to learn. Like that's one of those things that if somebody just filmed that procedure, I'd just watch that all the time.
Yeah, and because it's somebody doing you wouldn't think of painting Ferraris as a creative job, but they each have their own way of doing it. And Ferrari says, that's fine. We like your take on it, but we're only allowing 2 takes at a time because we're creating demand through exclusivity, which if you look at a company like Nike or something where there's fucking 800 campaigns going on at once and you buy a pair of Nikes, you don't give a shit where it came from or where that poster came from, or everybody has a Nike, the Nike skateboarding team. It's like Nike SB. It's like, no, it's just fucking Nike, man. Like it's made from wherever, whoever, whenever, who gives a shit. But the exclusivity of that first pair of Nikes that were made on the waffle iron by pouring rubber into it. And I'm Bill, the coach, Prefontaine's coach at University of Arizona that created Nike. Bill.
Wow.
Oh, Bill. Okay, let's call him Bill Buckley for now because fuck it. Or let's call him David Schwimmer.
Seems to be a trend.
So people will look for those few pairs of shoes that Bill, hashtag David Schwimmer, created for his team because he wanted them to run better. And the only way to run at your best was to have a pair of shoes created specifically for you by this one human.
Yeah.
Those shoes are worth $1 billion. Fucking Air Max Zoom, fucking Gorillas mashup, Mountain Dew explosion, whatever.
Holy
is
shit.
worth
That's
whatever
a shoe
it is.
I'm interested in now.
is worth whatever because who cares?
Yeah.
It's exclusive because we made only 100 of them, but you made them the same way you made everything else.
Yeah. Well, it's really funny about this handmade and knowing the differences too. There's a fellow on YouTube that I follow, and his name's David Bull, and he's a Canadian that moved to Japan years ago because he was really interested in woodblock printing. Mm-hmm. So like carving the wood and then doing the ink, printing it on paper, and that art form.
Yeah.
And so we learned from the masters there. And now he has 2 shops in Tokyo, and he posts videos because he does like some specialty prints as well, but he posts videos on there of his process and shows you how he does it all. And like, you know, in kind of comparison how they used to do it to now, he use a printer to, of course, print stuff on there and transfer it onto the wood. But the tools that he uses to carve are like very traditional, original blades that he sharpens and he takes care of. And the delicate lines he has to carve are just unreal. And then you see like somebody's made a lino cut print and they've just used an X-Acto blade, and you can see the difference in quality, and you're like, there's a huge difference. And he's even made a video that's called This Is Not Garbage, where he talks about his prints and says, you know, a lot of what we have in the world around us is disposable. Our fridge is only going to last X amount of years. Our phone's going to last this many years. The shirt you're wearing is only going to last so many years. But through the care and attention that he shows to his prints, he's like, these will last hundreds of years. Because he has prints that are hundreds of years old, like from original time periods. And some of those things, they're worth it if you really want that quality.
Yeah, and it really comes down to who wants to dedicate their life to this thing and who wants to fuck around with it until they can do a reasonable facsimile and be like, now I'm bespoke ultra lord and check out my Instagram and all that stuff. So I mean, they're the people that do it every day that don't have a second thought about how cool it is. It's just like, no, it's just what I do, and I do it because it's done the proper way. And you see this all the time. Like I cannot stop drawing parallels between designers and chefs. You cut corners, it looks like shit, tastes like shit. You go and find the vegetables yourself and do all that stuff and know why everything's going in there. And then it's just going to look better even if it's prepared the exact same way. Yeah. And it's going to taste a hell of a lot better, and it's going to be more satisfying for everybody. But not everybody wants fine dining, and some people want that McDonald's horseshit and to move on with their life. And that's what I was saying in Vancouver on the SkyTrain. A lot of the branding, a lot of the work was just shit because they're like, whatever, just put something up. People go by in the SkyTrain every day, just put our phone number big. And it works. Yeah. Because a lot of people are looking just out the window and say, and phone number, and cheapest muffler repair in town. I have no money. I have a broken muffler. They solve my need, not with design. Mm-hmm. Well, in a way with design, by making these numbers fucking huge and these letters huge so I can remember it.
Well, there's a mini dealership as you're going into Vancouver from Tsawwassen that they've set it up so it looks like a mini has crashed through the wall, like in an upper level. Yeah. It's kind of dumb, but I look at it every time. I stare at it, and like I don't have the money to buy a mini, nor do I fit in one. But I'm drawn to it every single time I drive past there.
And who knows what that meeting was to put that there? Was it the designer or the sign maker or whoever to be like, hey, we have a crazy idea? Or was it the client saying, just put a fucking car smashing through the wall and we're done? And today what we're talking about is meetings. So we're going to crack a beer. We're going to do whatever else we do. And then I tried to think, what else we do? And like, Why do I have to explain everything to you people? And yeah, we'll be back in a minute and
What do you
talking
mean,
about
you
meetings.
people?
So meeting adjourned.
I don't know. But yeah, we're going to try and keep it under 3 hours.
And we were recording 4 seconds ago.
Oh, I realized that. Okay. I heard the ticks in my ear. I was just going to...
We were talking about how kind it is that we don't make these episodes 3 hours. So anybody like fucking another 2 hour one could have been 3 hours.
Man, if you're a fan of Joe Rogan's time that he spends doing a podcast...
Yeah, not his comedy or his conspiracy theories or his time in the isolation chamber, whatever he does, or his weed smoke.
Sensory deprivation chamber.
There you go.
Which I actually would like to try. Because it's not like a float house. It's from what I understand, it's a big metal box that you go into and there's literally nothing that you can touch and it's just got water.
It's an iron lung, but it's voluntary. Like anybody's seen
Sure.
Big Lebowski, which I know it's an underground movie and I'm one of the few people who've seen it. But when they went to go see that
called?
old writer from the old Western show.
Sam Elliott? No.
Nope.
That's the cowboy.
No, when they went to Larry Perkins' house, whatever, the kid that stole the car that left the homework in the car. And he said, you never fuck a stranger. And he asked Larry, is this your homework, Larry? And that Larry's dad was a writer on a fictitious Western show. I'm spending too long thinking about it for something that's made up.
Yeah.
I'll think about it later. But anyway,
This has to do with an iron lung.
the thing he's in is basically a giant steel suppository, and that's what Joe Rogan climbs in to just mellow out and smoke all the weed that won't kill him.
So meetings.
Oh, but first,
Oh.
sorry to point at you because
Oh.
that's very rude. I want to say, as I was saying before, I went to Vancouver last week. I know I'm bragging. Went to the Rancid concert. Bragging again.
That's brag number 2.
I was sitting up with my new friend Eric, and Eric, if you're listening, stop listening. And then we were talking, and then he just yelled "punk rock baby," and he pointed down in the stands, and there was somebody carrying a baby with giant, like soundproof, like industrial strength headphones on, like a soundproofing, like
Yeah.
not earmuffs. Is it headphones when you're on the job site?
They're
Ear protectors.
Sure.
Okay, big blue ear protectors. And then the dad carrying the kid turned around, and I was like, fuck a duck, that's Joey McDonald from last week's episode. So I walked down
God.
and I turned to him and said, and he looked at me and went, hey, and I said, I thought I'd find you here. And he and his lady and their 4-month-old baby were there to see the Rancid Dropkick Murphy show. And once it started, everybody just like finds their own seats and just like moves as close as they can.
Was it a seated venue on the floor?
We were seated in stands like a hockey arena or like a baseball, in America's baseball trapezoid. So they were like right down low, closer than we were. And then once it started, nobody was down there. So we said, fuck it, let's just go down there.
Weird.
And then, we were sitting beside Joey and his family for the whole show. And at one point, Joey's baby started crying, and I offered to hold him. I was like, well, here, like I've been in this position before, like baby starts crying, and sometimes he needs a different point of view to like mellow out. And he saw me and he's just like, fuck this monster. And so I handed him to Ryan. He was happy for like a second, but ultimately Joey did have to take him out for about 20 minutes. But the kid came back, fucking powered through the rest of Rancid, intermission, and Dropkick Murphys. He fell asleep during Dropkick Murphys.
That's not bad though.
No, they got to see just about the entire show. And it was very funny for me that 5 days prior, we were interviewing Joey about what turned into Alien Covenant. But and yes, Joey, we will do an Alien Covenant only show that will never air. But you guys got to get some shit off your chest. You and Sean.
Yeah, there's some hatred going on.
We'll
there.
get Matt Andres back, Sean Brooks, Joey McDonald. Marcus, you have some thoughts. I've never seen an entire Alien movie, so I'll just work the board.
Well, that in itself is an issue because the first,
but not the issue Joey had.
No, that's like a hate level that you shouldn't have for an inanimate object.
It's not hate at all. It's
A disdain?
It never. No, I would happily watch one. It just never crossed my path for whatever reason. Like, hey, how'd you like Shawshank Redemption?
You know, when I get around to watching it,
Exactly.
I bet you it's going to be great. But you know what? People are going to build it up so much that I'm going to just be like, yeah, it was all right. And then that's what I'll hear is, you thought it was just all right?
Well, I see Alien, the original, and as like a movie, and I'm like, Sigourney Weaver, I can just about goddamn guarantee I'm going to enjoy Ghostbusters more. Hey, why don't I watch Ghostbusters again? And I'm off.
One thing you could take away from Alien, the first one,
Not
no, this is the computer interfaces and the fonts and stuff. They're really good because they're
it's like 80s level.
Yeah, it's like
space shit. Ooh, that would
Space
be
Odyssey
cool.
2010. Oh my
Which
god,
is gorgeous.
I should send you and post it on the site. There's a great, I don't know if it's a blog post or a website. I'll have to look it up right now. But it talks about the futuristic font in movies of like sci-fi movies, and it breaks them all down and shows like really great pictures of them, and it's fantastic.
There's an episode we could have Joey and Sean back for right there. Everybody bringing a list of your 3 favorite movies that have the greatest design in them.
And Wes Anderson can't be one of them.
No, because fucking you watch Moonrise Kingdom. What the camp one where the fucking 8-year-olds are dancing in their underwear on the beach. I love all the other ones. That one was absolute nonsense, and everybody I despised for being like, oh, look at my jeans, look at my this, and look at my that. Like, oh my god, have you seen Moonrise Kingdom? I said, yeah, it was a bag of shit.
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Why? It looks so great. I'm like, it meant nothing. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Look great is great. There's a lot of shit that's good. And he actually has another one coming up called Island of Dogs, and it's stop motion animation again. And
that's right.
My little Willie couldn't be more excited about the whole thing.
It's just a quivering.
Oh, it's just
which is a great segue into
quivering.
Archery.
Robin Hood.
into meetings. Meetings and
the rest will be in a
meetings.
Cockney accent.
Oh. That's not an episode I want to listen to.
No, unless it's about the original Disney Robin Hood with the fox and all the cartoons, which design-wise, aesthetic-wise, all that stuff is a beautiful movie. And it has Roger Miller as a chicken.
Well,
moving on. If that's not enough for you, then fuck, we can never be
that's your
long
fucking
lost relatives.
Fun fact of the week.
Fun for me.
I do enjoy the hand-drawn cell animation, usually more.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. That could be a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so today we wanted to talk about meetings, designers and meetings, and how they go wrong, how they go right. What rights do we have in them? What power do we have in them? When should we shut the fuck up and let other people talk? And if you've been doing this job for a while, really, if you're listening and you're not a designer and you're somehow enjoying this, which I find exceptionally unbelievable, breaking news, Marcus, Jen just liked a post, the show post.
So yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. So if you're like Jen and you're not a designer but somehow listen to the show,
I constantly urge her to not listen to the show.
Well,
because I don't want it to accidentally appear in the car and turn on, and then have to poke my ears out
or seep into the lovemaking.
That's the weirdest form of. Anyways, please let's just continue. I don't want to talk about making love to listening to myself talk. Fucking hell!
I'll just give you 30 seconds to clear that.
Especially if it's this, if it was this segment, as I stumble over everything.
Meetings. No matter what you do, if you design or not, if you're a developer, project manager, if you're fucking work for Burger King head office, you've been in 100,000 meetings, many of which you have wondered why you're there. Now, there are so many different trains of thoughts on who should be in a room, who should not be in a room, and sometimes people think more people means better ideas, means we get stuff done in a more cooperative way. We come up with a better product. There are other people that are like, everybody who's dumb should leave and let the smart people decide what to do. It's less cutthroat. I'll speak personally with a design company because everything we do is very subjective. We're not going for a hard result because that in a way is impossible outside of numbers, like outside of increased conversions based on work we've done. But when you make a picture, you can't measure that went perfectly. So we're being hired to think creatively, which even if we think what we do is at times, that was really smart. We really considered everything because it's a subjective thing. People will come back at a meeting and say, I don't really like that. And it's like, well, I can tell you why I think it's right. I have 7 reasons, but your only reason is I don't like that. So there are meetings that infuriate us. There are some that are really short and punchy and get a lot of shit done, and everybody leaves feeling good with something to do.
Yeah.
And there are other meetings that go on forever, and everybody's just waiting for somebody else to justify why we're all there. And everybody looking at the door, and everybody like, as like a 37-year-old man, can I fake having to go pee just to leave for a while?
Yeah.
So yeah, meetings are strange. The first hard thought about a meeting that I ever really agreed with, and I hate bringing up Steve Jobs because everybody's like, oh, quotes of fucking Turtleneck Town and all whatever. Very smart guy, a lot of cool thoughts.
Sorry,
really,
I can't get over Turtleneck Town.
Fucking he's mayor of Turtleneck Town. Fucking smart guy, shit to his kids, not whatever. He's not a saint. He designed things really well and was very pragmatic about a lot of things. And if I was hiring somebody to run my company, I would hire him because he would skip his kid's birthday party to make the company better. That's what separates most of us from somebody like that, is that we're not willing to say fuck you to everything we like. No, that's, you know what? If you love work more than you love the things and people around you, then it's easy to say fuck off. And he loved it. So when the first thing I read about a meeting, which actually stuck in my mind because you read 7 tips for meetings and blah, 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 and fucking best snacks to bring to a meeting. It's like, fuck off. Like, bring donuts because fucking everybody wants to be naughty. It's like, most people don't want to eat a donut at 3:00 in the afternoon. No. It's just like, not what's going to happen. But Steve Jobs had a methodology, which was when a meeting started, he'd go around the room, say, why are you here? And if people said, well, I'm the head of this, and this, and I'm responsible for the outcome of this. He's like, cool. Why are you here? And if somebody said, I don't know, or gave an answer he didn't like, or said, well, so-and-so invited me because they thought I would be valuable. He said, get the fuck out. He's like, let's whittle this room down to the people that matter. And that's the only way we're going to get stuff done. So for me...
That's very effective, though.
It is. But then I remembered it because it was really rigid. But I think about it because for him that worked, but because he knew his vision, apparently based on the biography, he knew his vision of where he wanted everything to go. But if you're a cloudy, uncertain person and you start chucking better people out the room because you're too dumb to know it, like I wonder how many people model their meeting styles after Steve Jobs, hoping that they'll achieve Steve Jobs level at some point, even though, there's one Johnny Cash. Like, you can model yourself after him, but all you're going to do is a shitty impression of Johnny Cash.
I mean, it's true. We recently went through a branding exercise, and one of the things that came up was a Steve Jobs internal presentation where he was presenting the Think Different campaign to the staff before they announced it. And he knew how to run it. He said, their computers do this. We're not going to talk about the power. We're not going to talk about this. This is what we're going to talk about. And so there's ways you can control those, but it can backfire too. Yeah. Because if you try to be that in that organization, it's not always going to work out that way.
No, and the thing with a lot of people is what I found with like I used to read Inc. magazine. I used to read a lot of like Fast Company and all that, and just like these people that had these groundbreaking methods, and like Jeff Bezos, the head of Amazon, was just named the richest person on the planet.
He also just got slammed again by Trump.
Oh fuck! He's probably
for taking away. I think it was for taking away jobs this time.
Yeah, well, one person is a legitimate rich person, the other one's a orange turd. But it's funny because the people that come out that have the most groundbreaking ideologies and thought processes and just like approaches and the risks that they took, they could really only do or take with their own shit. Mm-hmm. You can hear about CEOs that are running companies that have grown. And like as a company owner with Bully Design Company, that's my fucking weak spot for sure. I'm not a business like eyes upward being like fucking stocks and soaring here and I want an Audi and I want a fucking Hublot and I want all this horse shit. I'm the guy who would be in his garage with a canvas just painting weird shit no matter what, never caring where it went. Where there's people that are just going for it all the time and trying to make it as best as they can. And I've seen time and time again, I can guarantee this isn't a unique thought, but people that built and thought of their own shit and kept control over it are the most revered, where the people that run something that somebody else created and kept it growing at a decent rate and kept it solvent, they're great employees. So I think you have to look to where your position is in your career, in your company, in your freelancing, whatever it is. Are you the originator or are you an employee? And should you be modeling your meeting behavior after somebody who's the opposite of you? Because nobody is going to ask Steve Jobs to leave a room, but Steve Jobs could ask his CEO to leave a room. And
sure.
And the CEO could ask anybody else to leave the room. But one person gets paid by somebody else and the other person's in full control. So in a meeting, Marcus, how do you feel? Do you feel when you're presenting designs, do you feel you're in full control of that project? Or are you always aware that you're working for a studio? Do you feel it's one-on-one with you and a client and it's more personal? Like how do you approach this shit?
What usually kind of comes out of it, and what seems to happen quite often, I mean, for good reason too, is like a project will start, and you'll get everybody involved, project managers, developers, what have you. And then as the time goes on with presentations and stuff like that, it starts to become more of a one-on-one with you and the client, where the project manager just kind of steps back and says like, you're presenting, this is your meeting, so just go with it. And then it just turns into one-on-one because, you're building that relationship with the client. And a lot of times, like after a while, quite often the project manager would just step out and be like, do I need to be there with you? It's like, no, I'm just presenting ideas and figuring out what's the next steps.
So how do you feel? And this could have been in the past as well. Nothing current, but when another person in the meeting says, do I even need to be here? What do you think?
To be honest, I have not had that at my current job at every job I've been at, nobody's ever said that. And I really wish they would have, because that would have actually been me. But previous jobs that weren't in a design role, they were just a tech company. I remember being in a meeting one time, and I don't even remember what the purpose of the meeting was, but I remember one of the supervisors, he just started talking. And then 10 minutes later, when I tuned back in to what he was still rambling about, he hadn't made a point yet. And I wanted to stand up and tell him to just get the fuck out of here. And I wasn't a supervisor or any sort of manager, but I felt I had the authority at that point to tell him to get the fuck out of here, because you said nothing. You wasted everyone's time and nothing got accomplished.
So at that point,
but I've never had anyone say, do I need to be here? Because I've been fortunate in that where the right people have been there in meetings and nobody's just kind of been like, should I even be here? I've been in meetings, mind you, where myself and say the project manager are on the meeting with the client, and now the client, in multiple channels, they're now having an internal debate and they're disagreeing with each other. And we've stepped back and been like, do we need to be here? And that's the only situation I've been. Yeah. And then the funniest part about that is the client realizes that they've been bickering on a hangout, wasting time. And then they kind of turn like, we need to take this offline. And then the meeting just gets shut down.
Yeah, I've had that exact situation with one client for probably 3 years.
Consecutively?
Yeah, one client for 3 years. And when I would go for a meeting, Ryan's like, okay, where you headed? I'm like, I'm off to a meeting with the Bickertons. Because they would bicker. And they would yell and they would argue and they bring up personal shit. And I'm sitting there. At times, I felt like a kid whose parents were fighting. Yeah. And all I want to know is, can I go to a friend's house? Like I'm not involved. I just want to know if I can share my information with you and then fucking hit bricks. I just want to bail. And so I've been in that situation, with that one specific project for years. And it was hard. It was like there's meeting etiquette to me where, there are people out there with like pipes and very thick sweaters that will hear you through all your shit. And they're called like therapists. But once somebody else is in the room, and I'm guilty of this as well with other people, when there's a third person in the room that has nothing to do with your shit, you can start bringing up shit knowing that the other person isn't willing to get into it fully with you there because another person's there, but you just want to get your thought out quick. And then as soon as I do that, I go, fuck, that was such a dumb thing to do.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of got into something and it was so passive aggressive that it immediately made me sick. And I know I look like an asshole now and I'll try to never do that again.
Yeah.
But it's a weird thing when everybody starts talking and some people are venting, then you're like, well, I've been in that position and blah, blah, blah. Like you're trying to relate and all of a sudden you're offering up too much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird. I mean, over the years, I think my meeting style has gotten quite sharp. Like,
well, that's because you were also in a position years ago where a meeting invite would go out and you'd be like, what's the purpose of this meeting? Do I need to be there?
When I worked at a university, yeah, it's true.
And then the reply is not a valid answer. It's like, I'm not going to this meeting. It's a waste of time.
Well,
a lot of those, I couldn't be able to pinpoint an organization, but I'm sure if anybody's listened, they've been part of a meeting where there's no agenda, there's no purpose, and it's literally to hear yourself talk.
That's 100% fucking true. And the greatest tip I ever read in order to get out of meetings.
Scurvy?
Nope.
Herpes.
Where?
Face.
If it's on the ding dong, you can't prove it.
Yeah.
So I'd be savoring up all these Halloween makeup scabs, and I just apply them. Like, I'm sorry, I'm absolutely oozing today. It's a high volume day for me. But I mentioned earlier, like I'd read different methodologies and stuff just because I was struggling with feeling productive in this shit. And I thought it was me that was doing something wrong. And in a big way it was I was indulging other people in off-track shit. Oh, sure, go off, and because I don't want to tell you to be quiet because you're wasting everybody's time. And that changed over time. But Tim Ferriss's book, and that's a guy that's like, you can eat 1 egg per year and do 900 push-ups a week and you'll be like a superhuman. And Christopher Walken's 900 years old, but he does this one weird trick. But he had the 4-hour work week. And I read it, and it was the way to get out of meetings is when people schedule one and invite you, reply and say, do you have an agenda? If there's no agenda attached to that invite, and depending on the person's response, say, oh, we're going to figure it out in there, and say, if there's no agenda, I will not attend because I don't know what my role is. And I started doing that, and fuck a duck, it was working. I stopped getting invited to meetings because it's like, because people that had these waste all your time meetings said, let's not invite Matt because he's identified that we're wasting time. So we don't need that because I feel lost. I feel I need to gather a lot of people around me in order to help me, but I can't tell them that because that's an agenda all on its own. I'm fucked. I need help. I need help with these specific things. I'm inviting you guys because I trust your judgment. That's an agenda. But just calling a meeting, hoping everybody will magically fucking write Yellow Submarine unprompted. Be like, oh, this meeting went awesome. We have a classic song that'll live on forever. It's like, that doesn't happen. Like the Beatles sat down and wrote music together because that was the purpose. Where if you call a meeting and I say, what's the purpose? And they say, well, I don't know yet. And I say, well, I'm not coming. Invite me to meetings that have purpose. It totally cut down, way down, like 80% down on meetings I was invited to. And the first time I did it, it felt mean. But then I realized, oh, I'm mean, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
So fuck you for wasting my time.
But
if you value my opinion, you'll invite me to the meetings where my opinion is valid.
I think there's also a disconnect or a group of people who feel that everything needs a meeting, where it could be a message or an email or walk up to that person and have a conversation. Right now, like, are you free? Let's just, can I come over and chat instead of scheduling something? But there is a group of people that I have worked with in the past, their previous jobs, that's what they've gotten used to as how to figure things out is schedule a meeting and then talk about it in a room. It's like, well, no, just fucking come over now. Don't waste anybody else's time while you booking shit.
It can be 3 minutes now or an hour later with 4 times as many people.
Can I get you some water? Do you need anything?
We have carrot cake. Do you like carrot cake? Like, fuck it.
Debbie made it.
Like, I don't want to tell you I do.
No.
Because I don't want to be invited to these anymore. I love carrot cake. No. It's delicious. But the people that treat meetings as a break from work are the people that assault other people's day.
Yeah.
So as a designer,
the time, your daily time is valuable. And the setup and tear down and preparing for a meeting is very time consuming, or can be.
So when you present design concepts in a meeting, whether it's, Google Hangouts or High Five or whatever the fuck you do, or Skype or in person, walk me through your meeting. Like when everybody sits down, what do you do?
You specifically wondering, are we looking for specific examples of client stuff or internal stuff? Because they're totally different things.
I think for the majority of people listening, because we have people listening that are in studio who also have to meet with clients, and there are people who are freelancers that purely meet with clients. Let's go. I think today let's stick with clients only.
Sure.
Yeah, but which can involve project managers or web developers or app developers or whatever. But all this shit that is client facing, how do we handle shit? So you, project manager, developer, whoever, sit down with the client to present something that you came up with. How does it go?
First things first, be on time.
Yeah.
Even if the client is late, which can usually happen, actually. Who cares? Yeah, but as long as you're on time, then that's fine.
Yeah, I've been late to one meeting in my life. Apologies to Category 12 Brewing. I was 25 minutes late to the meeting. And I missed one meeting in my life. And apologies to @BigWheel McNeil. I'm very sorry. I was late once and missed one. And otherwise, I'm 10 minutes early to everything. But sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right. So then there's not like an attendance or anything or a roll call. But then it's usually just really brief welcomes and then a prep of what we're going to do. Like you've taken the time out of your day to do a hangout or whatever the fuck. We're going to prep you on what you're going to see and what to expect. Just so there's not like going into things blind. And that's kind of how it kicks off. And then you just get started with like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then at the end of the meeting, there's always like, okay, here's what's next. And here's what to expect. Here's what you're going to see. So there's never any mystery. It's always keeping an open book with clients is always the best because they're paying you money, sometimes a lot of money, and they want to know where that money's going. And if you have nothing to hide and you're giving everything out there, then they know that it's for a purpose.
Yeah, I think that's exceptionally insightful in that, and that's a learned behavior. And that when I was meeting early on, and I'm sure a lot of people listening right now, they're like, oh, well, I try and like dazzle them and blah, blah, blah. It's like the second you become transparent and say, we're trying to make you happy by making your customers, your users, your whatever happy. I just tore down a wall and asked, what do you think at every stage of the process? If you try and, I think this was Mike Montero.
It was because I've that part I do either read or watched that.
Yeah.
Exact.
So go out and grab Design as a Job by Mike Montero. It's great. It's awesome. It doesn't teach you how to design. It teaches you how to sell design and how to not fuck clients over and not fuck people over you work with.
Which comes back to kind of in this. It does fall under the meeting topics of if he talks about in one of his few talks that he's done when they had to do cutbacks because the economy was kind of piss poor.
Oh, that was. Yeah, one of his talks, also one of his podcasts, the Let's Make Mistakes, it's called. Yeah.
He talked about how when you're looking to cut staff that you unfortunately have to do, he looked at who can sell and who can't in a meeting.
Yeah.
And that was one of the biggest things I ever took from any talk, anything I've ever read or listened to was that is like one of the most valid points I've ever read. It doesn't matter if your design skills aren't the greatest in the world or that agency is doing better work than you. Can you sell the decisions that you've made? And I don't come from a sales background. I don't sell, but like I couldn't sell you a car. I couldn't sell you a Lamborghini Countach, except for like this thing's fucking rad and get your dick wet from it.
And a lot of people because of that, but I would look
actually
at
that's a pretty good tagline copyright. But I can sell design because and that also does come from experience. Because the first times of trying to convince a client that you did this for a reason and they go, why? And you go, I'll get back to you on that one.
It looks dope.
Everything you did has a reason and you should know what that reason was.
Absolutely. And when I read that from Mike Montero, I think I must have read that book 5 years ago, damn near when it came out. It made me think back to when I used to convince people that what I did was cool, hoping that they would like it.
Was cool or the right choice?
Was cool when I was young. Like, it's cool. It looks neat. Look at the fucking texture I put on that. And aren't you dazzled by every thought I have? And then as years go by, I start every project with a spreadsheet and competition analysis. More like market analysis. I don't look at direct competition. I don't want to be influenced by a lot of stuff, but just like, everything I do should be informed, because when I get into that meeting, as you design more and more and progress in your career, you're a freelancer, you're whatever the hell it is, not that freelancing ain't a career, but as you start charging people more money, they're going to expect better answers when you're face to face.
Yeah, and I think the ultimate statement is don't let them question why they came to you, or don't let them question why they're giving you money.
Yeah. They can question your decision even after you've given them reasons.
No. Because
that's a valid debate at that point. And it's like, well, I came to you because you know what you're doing. I'm not 100% on board with it. Convince me why it's right.
Yeah.
They can, at any point in a meeting, people can be unsure. They can leave unsure. Never feel you have to convert people before they leave the church. It takes a few visits sometime to be like, all right, I kind of dig what this guy's saying, and I've thought about it, I've ruminated it, and now I'm kind of cool with it. Never think that each meeting is your one and only shot to make a splash. Like, sometimes give people something to think about. Oftentimes, we're like, the end of this meeting, client name here, your job is to take everything we told you, and we're going to email you the meeting notes, and we're going to re-email you the proofs, and your job is to think about it, all the reasons we gave you, all the work we've done, all the listening we've done, and come back after the weekend, after you've lived with it. And that's a phrase we say here at Bullies, is we say, we want you to live with it for like a week.
Yeah.
And see what you think. Because first impressions are often terrible. You could see your soulmate across the room and be like, fucking weird haircut. But then you could talk to them and be like, yeah, I just got a haircut today. It's really weird. I'm really self-conscious. Like, oh, I judged it weird. Yeah. Let's get a coffee next week. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, I can't live without you. But if I made every decision based on my first reaction without more information, then I would miss out on the good thing.
Sure. To take a quick little break, I would like to take a pee.
Okay.
This beer is just not, it's
I'll talk. Okay. It's taking it out.
You're just going to go? Yep. All right.
And it's going done. But now I have to pee. That made me have to pee. So let's take a break.
Sorry about that short break. It's what happens when you have a smoothie for dinner. And so any sort of liquid that comes out, it just does not hang out your body. Yesterday when I had many, many drinks, I had rice in me from sushi and pizza.
It came out the pee hole.
So a lot of heavy things that absorbed all the liquids, and I think
starchy.
I think I peed twice the entire night. So the lesson here is, don't drink a smoothie before these episodes are being recorded.
Or before a meeting. Eat a bunch of rice, have a tortilla, have some beer, whatever. Something absorby.
Like don't have a donut before a meeting because you're going to have a sugar crash. And you don't want to be that guy going,
oh, fuck, is this done yet? No. Have a bowl of fucking couscous and power through, man. That reminds me of an episode of The Drew Carey Show, which for me is a very underrated show. It's one of my favorites.
It was, that was Craig Ferguson on there as well. He was Drew Carey's boss.
Yes, it was Drew. And it had Ryan Stiles from Whose Line Is It Anyway fame.
Correct. And then the guy, if we're going to say Office Space.
I was like Oswald. I used to know his name. He also did the voice of Batman in the cartoons.
He was also on Veep for a while too.
Somebody listening right now is punching himself in the abdomen nonstop, being like, his name is Bugaboo.
But you know what? I've reached a point in my life where I'm okay that I don't know an actor's name or a musician's name.
I stopped looking shit up a long time ago.
And it's come full circle now that I've become my mom and said, you know that guy in The Thing? Oh, he did that other thing. Oh, it was so great. Yeah.
So speaking about absorbent things that you can use to sop up liquid if you're in a meeting or if you're having a big night, there was an episode where Oswald, the unnamed actor's Fuck, I wish I knew him because he's so good.
The curly-haired guy?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a show with two Kramers. But anyway, that's another show. Fuck.
My Two Kramers.
Starring Paul Reiser and another man. But they had an episode where they were saying that Oswald drank a sponge, or he ate a sponge at the beginning of the night so he could drink more beer. And they said, yeah, but we had to take you to the emergency room. And he said, yeah, but I didn't get drunk. And that, your rice reminded me of that.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm better than others.
So what's the most inappropriate thing you said in a meeting?
I have nothing that I can recall on record.
Because it's all borderline?
You
just showed me a coffin.
Oh, yeah. Well, it wasn't a meeting. That was a presentation of internal stuff.
Not a client thing. That was
usually what I've learned over the years is that, but I still try, is that jokes do not translate over Hangouts, whether it's a delay or what. But yeah, throwing any sort of joke visually or audio source, it's just literally crickets.
See, I found that they absolutely can, although it's like if you're a stand-up comedian and all of a sudden you're on stage and there's, half a second of latency between the mic and the speaker and you're hearing it, but you can't stop the show and be like, fix everything because all the momentum's fucked. Yeah. You just have to say the joke, wait half a second, and if they go, because that half a second where they have no reaction and you start talking more,
it's gone.
It kills it.
Yeah.
So you just have to be like, technology is advanced so much beyond the rotary phone that I used when I was a kid, as a young man, as born in 2004. But it's not as such where everything's instant now. So there's still those niceties of, I'll give you a second to react. I give you plenty of time. You're fucking straight faced. And let's move on because that might have upset you or that was just for me. But
the coffin that Matt was referring to was I gave a presentation internally of why I still use Adobe Illustrator and its relevance to the job. And I threw in a slide for comedy purposes, and I recreated what would look like an IKEA manual of how to put together a coffin. And I had the IKEA guy, and I drew like a perspective coffin, and I thought it was pretty funny to throw it in there. And then when the slide came up, it was just silence, and so I just moved on from it. Well, my jokes are a lot funnier to myself, and not to other people, because
Well, sometimes it can be a beautiful hook, but it's a dead fish.
Oh, it's also a shit delivery, is what I usually do.
See, that's where I'm okay in a meeting. Is I start off, like I asked you before, how you typically start off a meeting. Typically at Bully, we start things off with, and Bully's my wife and I. Before that, it was just me and a couple of other guys, and then before that, it's just working on my own. So I've been in hundreds and hundreds of meetings. I've found over the years that initially, the pleasantries, how are things going, and fucking weather and whatever. But as soon as I can make them laugh, then we start the meeting. Because then all of a sudden the guard's down a little more receptive to ideas and a little more conversational. Like, all right, you don't know how the client is building up a meeting in their mind before they get to you.
Yeah. A
lot of times it's the first time they've ever been in a meeting like this, and they don't know how they're supposed to act.
Yeah.
Make them feel like, oh, fuck this. We're just talking. Okay. Yeah. Waiter, can we have a couple beers? Because this is actually, now I have ideas and now I'm comfortable. And once you can make them lower the guard, then you can talk, and you're not having a meeting anymore. You're talking about something.
It definitely makes a difference. Because usually meetings with clients, they're in meetings with banks, they're in meetings with lawyers, things like that. One of our last clients, we had our bigger clients, usually at the end of most meetings, they would say, "This is the best meeting we've ever had." These aren't like a meetings that we have in our day to day because they're relaxed and we can talk openly about things. And there's laughing. It's everything. But yeah, it definitely does make a huge difference to whether it's to break the ice or just to loosen people up. Like everybody had a beer, type of thing.
I've never considered this before until you put it that way. But terminology wise, a meeting, it seems like just people coming together, but then what? Yeah. We're all here. We've all met. Now, what do? Do we have a formal discussion about how professional we are? Yeah. Or do we fucking talk? And unless you're comfortable, unless you can make the client comfortable, you're rarely going to get their honest opinion. And the honest opinion is what's either going to save you 40 hours or $4,000, depending on how polite they want to be. Because I've had clients that they saw how much work I put into it and how much thought I put into it and the research and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't open up the meeting with like making people laugh or doing whatever, just make everybody feel like, fuck it, it's not a meeting. We're all just talking. And then they've come back 2 weeks later and said, we didn't really like it, but you seemed so positive it was the right thing to do. And you did so much work that we felt bad about telling you that. Because
there is a fine line between like making it relaxing and also not crossing that line of like, as harsh as it might come to some people, the client's not your friend.
No. And that's a mistake, is that I treated them in those instances, it was very sterile. I was like, hello, welcome. Would you like some water? Let's get right to it. And then they felt that I was too professional and they didn't know if they should be there because I was so like non-personal. And even after the meeting, I felt, oh, fuck, that was like robotic. That was weird. Yeah. I don't know why I did that. That was stupid. And then they came back to bite me square on the butt because they told me, the meeting was very professional. We didn't know how to react to it. We actually weren't crazy about it. And since the last meeting, I had spent 2 weeks proceeding in that train of thought that they agreed to in the meeting because they felt that they would have been dumb for disagreeing with it because I came off as a professional and not as a person that they should be telling their thoughts to.
I think with that too, it's what's really interesting about that is I was talking about, we were doing some brand exercises today, and it goes to the fact that if somebody comes to bully, there's an expectation based on either the work, the lack of website, or the Instagram work, or whatever it is. But there's an expectation that people have an idea about what the bully brand is, who's representing it. If, say, like a Wells Fargo they wouldn't come to bully. They'd go to an organization that was a serious one, who is straight cut, because that's what they want. That kind of like classic, old, reliable. That
was Wells Fargo in a different industry. Like, you get us because you're...
Yeah. But
we're on the same planet.
So if somebody comes to you, wants whatever design, and then you in that meeting are very straight and this is how things are, and then it's a different experience than what they're expecting even right off the bat
it's a bummer
because the bully logo is palm trees. You can't be serious with palm trees.
Currently, it's
currently palm trees. Yes, it could be anything at any point, but so people have an expectation based off of what's there, and it's different. So every meeting, depending on where you work, like it can be the different style depending on the client too.
Absolutely. But the funny thing is, at that time, Bully's corporate structure, and I'd say that in fancy terms, for there used to be some more people than some people had say in whatever. But back then, we were all reading. Oh, Marcus is cracking his knuckles, and in case you don't know Marcus, he only has 2 knuckles.
One giant one and one little one.
The rest of them are just like condoms filled with pudding. They're just flopping. But at that time, all of us were reading articles about how to make a better company and how to make a better meeting and how to do this and that. We're trying out different methodologies. And there were a few of them, like the one I'm referencing, where I didn't feel comfortable doing it that way. And then when the client was bummed out about it later, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, thank you for identifying that I did that poorly, because it wasn't representative of me. Like, I'm in a meeting, like, depending on how mel you are, I got dead baby jokes. We can go nuts if you want, or I can ask about your dogs, and you go, one of them died last week, and I won't hear you.
And you'll say, that's great.
I'll say, fantastic.
That's great out of 10.
I hope that happens next week. But there are different faces that you bring into a meeting. And the only way you really know which face to proceed with is to test the waters a little. If they're
100%.
No sense of humor, they want zero bullshit, be like, cool. In a way, I know that when I have a meeting with Deborah, it's no more than 7 minutes. All she wants is progress, deadlines, results, all that. Don't joke, because she ain't laughing. She may be the funniest person on the planet outside of work, but for her, work is work. There's no blurring the line. So you get in and get out, and there are other people that want to sit and talk the shit and talk about their kids and like, oh, and then this and this, and the car broke down. You have to sit through a half hour of people dumping their day on you, because when people see somebody that they've talked to a few times that have no dog in their hunt, they can tend to just release everything on you because you turned into a therapist, because you can't tell them they were wrong for getting their car towed. You'd be like, oh, that must have been crazy. All we're trying to do is progress the conversation into a place where we're relevant, but you have to sit through some stuff to get there.
And there's some clients that you're going to get that you don't know anything about. You don't know enough about their business that you have to have those sessions where it's a deep dive. And so you build that relationship. But there's other clients, they come to you and you know everything that's going on. We had a meeting recently where the project manager threw in a couple jokes, and I appreciated them, but the client didn't respond how I thought it was going to happen. So that's how you kind of dip your toe, and you're like, okay, I know what the cadence of this is going to be, and it's not a jokey, like I can't just throw out a hilarious thing, because
you have to open with like a mom joke, like, and something your mom would think is funny, like, boy, I'm sure glad it's not raining in here. And if they're like, yeah, it's, there's a ceiling and walls. Like, oh, my mom can't make you laugh.
Yeah.
There's no way my hyper offensive thing that I would love to say right now is going to delight you.
I would like to add one, kind of slightly off topic, fun fact, tip about meetings and client presentations that I've learned over the years. And one that I would like to solve. So that's a two-parter. So the first one is, if a client asks, can we, or what about this? Don't say yes.
That's great. Yeah.
Say, let me look into it and I will get back to you. I'll make a note and I'll let you know, or I'll speak to my developer. It's a good idea, but we need to know if it's going to cost more, how much time it's going to take. But goddamn, I made so many mistakes in saying, yep, we can do that. And then being like, fuck, I have to eat my words now.
And I'll say also quickly from the, that's at a designer, I'll say from a designer or from a developer, project manager, for whatever. When you feel yourself speaking for somebody else, stop promising that they're going to do things by a certain time. Designers will say, oh yeah, we can get the developer on that. Or yeah, the printers will be able to get that out. Or yeah, I'll get the project manager to send over that quote. You'll have it by the end of the day. You ask that project manager, hey, can you send a quote out by the end of the day? And their assistant says, oh, they left because they had to pick up their kid. And you go, oh, well, fuck me nonstop because I just promised something.
Yeah.
Unless they're in the room. No. If they're in the room, let them speak for themselves. Even saying, like if Marcus was my project manager and the client's like, so when do you, looking at me, so when do you think we could have that quote by? And I would put my hand out to Marcus and grasp his claw gently. And I'd say, We'll have it out to you as soon as we can. Marcus, with everything you have going on, when can you reasonably have this off to these fine people? And then Marcus has the absolute opportunity to say, you know what? I have an inbox full of shit right now. Let me go and deal with that. You guys are my next priority. And then I'll get that out to you. I'll let you know when I can get out to you as soon as I get back to my desk. Even if you're kind of nudged into a corner, never push someone into a corner where they have to give an answer that is absolute. And that's if you're in any aspect, you're putting somebody on the spot. Nobody wants to look dumb, but nobody wants to, after the meeting, fuck somebody over or disappoint a client or lie. So always put it in their court. Usually if they say, well, you know what, today's nuts, I'll have it to you tomorrow, they'll say, that's fine.
Yeah.
They just need to know it's happening.
Well, that's kind of goes back to my original point of like, if they're spending money, don't give them a reason to question why. Like, be honest, be open, be upfront. You know, if you fucked up something, if you didn't have things ready, I know there's a point that Mike Montero says that if you're not ready for this meeting, if you don't have things, don't fucking lie and fake it. Just reschedule. Just say like,
4 days
we're not
later is
ready.
Fine.
Can we please reschedule? We're not ready to present you our best work.
Which I've done recently. And you mentioned something about it in a few episodes back that you had a meeting scheduled and you were bummed out because the work wasn't where you hoped it would be. And then luckily you had a great idea. You're like, oh shit, but it's too late to reschedule. I'm going to redo every screen I did. And you stayed up all night and presented your good idea.
That does happen.
And it does. And it's great because you can walk into the meeting confidently knowing you're not giving them like a diaper filled with like used motor oil and being like, it's a sandwich, eat it.
Yeah.
You'll like this.
That a lot of those things too come with time and experience. And one thing that has come up in previous projects is I won't have a lot of confidence in throwing out kind of it's not innovative, but it's a really creative, unique solution to something.
It's
that you don't usually see.
Potentially unexpected.
Exactly. And previously, I just won't have the confidence to be like, I'll still present it, but I'm like, I hope they like it. I hope this is kind of what they are thinking. But now after doing it a few times, it's like, no. If there's an idea that's unique and you're behind it for the right reasons, not because it's cool.
Well, and that brings up a great point. If you're presenting something and you're not confident in it, then preface it with that. Say, you know what? I know this is only like 50% there, but there's a kernel in here which I think is valid, and I haven't been able to flesh it out 100% yet. And I'd love your feedback because I think this is going to be really great. If you're halfway through a presentation, you go, you know what? But if you don't like it, just let us know and we'll change it. Then all of a sudden it's like, well, I just hired MS Paint. I'm not hiring somebody to think creatively. I'm hiring like a human program that can make the things the colors I want, but it's going to be crude and not what I expected. Be confident. If you're be confident in any part of it. If you're confident in the smallest part of it, say, to be completely honest, this was my inspiration to make this happen. I think it got muddied along the way. So I'd like to, with you, reel it back to where I really wanted to start from and ask what your thoughts are. Because I think together we can come up with a great idea. And if your client is responsible for one of the great ideas of the project, they'll be so fucking stoked because they'll never stop telling people, I helped them create this. And all of a sudden they're the champion of the planet at their company, and you did them a service that was not a line item on the estimate. You gave them such fucking self-confidence and confidence in you because you trusted them. And it's a relationship that's, you know, the benefits are immeasurable.
And that's the difference between what do you think and, you know, I'd like to get to work with you on it or get your feedback.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Because the what do you think is such open-ended, whereas the latter of what you just went through is the complete opposite.
I've been in meetings where I presented something big, small, whatever, and then let's say at any point interrupt me, whatever, and nobody interrupts me, and I get to the end, and I was like, okay, what did you hate about it? And then you can tell by their faces, like, it's like, what? Like, nothing. Like, I actually really liked it. Or they're like, you kind of gave me a freebie and I kind of want to take it. And I kind of don't want to waste this opportunity. So I hate the color. If they don't hate anything about it, then you can proceed typically with tweaks. If there's something they hate about it and it's color, you can change that without a lot of thought. But if they're like, there's a time I've heard, I hate everything about it. And I said, okay, that's way easier than over the next 3 weeks hearing the things you don't like about it. I want to know if it's a fucking page 1 rewrite now. I don't want to work on it for 3 more weeks. Well, you're politely trying to massage it into a place where you're comfortable with it. And then you're ultimately not, and you go, you know what? I never really liked it. Can we start again? I'm like,
and that's why
it's going to cost you more because it's been 3 weeks and you weren't direct. But also I didn't give them the opportunity to be hyper direct, which a lot of people will take whether it's there or not. But a lot of people need, the engraved invitation.
Yeah. And that's where that line of between client and friend you cannot cross, because if they get the feeling that you have a friend relationship, then that feedback might not be proper. It might not come, and you won't find out until afterwards, or maybe they're talking about it after the project is done. You're like, oh, I really didn't like it, but I didn't want to say anything because they seemed cool.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic way to kind of wrap it up. Is that?
I do have one other thing that kind of goes with everything. No.
Sorry, I was going to say real quick. Be friendly with all your clients. If after the project you want to be their friend, make sure all the invoices are settled up and they're not asking for a retainer. Because working for your friends is weird. So be friendly to everybody. Be friends when work isn't involved, and that's how I would leave my part of that, but please proceed with yours.
And I would also add to that is give as much care as to a project as the product owner would give to their own product. Act like you're part of their team at all times.
Yeah, that's great.
So over the years of being a designer, specifically in a web space, the conversation of should designers code? And that conversation has always come up, and there's articles, tons and tons about that. Should designers code? How far do they code? Whatever. I think most of us have some base knowledge, which we can get by. But there's, I read a Medium, I think it was a Medium or somewhere, and it kind of changed a thought of that. And I really enjoyed it. I got on board with that is, should designers code? No. Should they learn business? Yes. Because that's half of what we do is the selling point. And there is a lot more business aspect to what we do that's not coding.
Yeah, and I think a slightly like a fork in the road from that thought is true, where should designers code? No, they should learn business if they're involved in the business, but there are large companies where they purely deal with developers.
Oh, absolutely.
Should designers learn business? No, they should learn an understanding of code for the people they work with to better understand them. So whoever you're dealing with in relation to success of the company, the owner, the developer, the designer, the janitor, whoever it is, the better understanding you have of them, the more successful you can all be.
Yeah.
And respect each other in meetings in that regard. And knowing that the client is also somebody that you have to understand and respect them. And you're going to fuck up a lot of meetings. I've fucked up tons. I asked a lady how are her dogs. She said one of them died. I said, that's great. So you know what? Nobody bats 1,000. And you know what? Not all dogs are alive. And I think that's the biggest
It's true.
takeaway we can learn today. And also, all dogs do go to
Most
heaven.
humans on this planet are dead.
Louis
So-
C.K. said the greatest
Exactly.
population.
Yeah, it's dead people.
So speaking of people that are on the internet who's not Louis C.K., because he's no longer on the internet, and I'm realizing that now, we have questions from the internet, which is a thing that we use to make the show.
Specifically, Instagram.
Yes, Instagram is a wealth of opportunity. So if you have any questions for us, we are at Worst Design Show on Instagram, Twitter, a whole bunch of other things.
We try to get a post up there pre-show to get any questions. So it gives you an idea of what we're going to be rambling about. I don't say talking, I say rambling.
Because
For a reason.
God bless us, that's what we do. So yeah, Marcus is totally right. So anything, we typically record on Thursdays. So if you follow us, maybe check Thursday afternoon, see what we're talking about. If you have any questions, we will absolutely bring it up. The second question we got today, which I'll bring up first, because it is by only by username I can tell that they are potentially alcoholic Australian people. Somebody at Dobell Designs commented we could come in. So also, our question was, does anybody have any question about anything?
So you left
God
that
love them. Chris and Stu
way
Dobell
too open-ended.
took that as, tell us something. We could come in and talk about our new plumbing business. Cry-y emoji, and I can only assume is a blue sperm emoji. So we don't completely understand that. I can only take that as like a vague euphemism from Australia about laying pipe. And no, I'd say respect your wives and girlfriends and keep that in the bedroom. Marcus, your thoughts?
You can never trust an Aussie.
Well, you hear that, guys?
Actually, I do. The one great thing I love about Australia is their hilarious news stories, because they're the people of Australia do hilarious things in a kind of non-destructive ways that always make me laugh.
Oh, there's that one guy that chased a car down the road, and he was just in his like undies. He was in my tighty whities. And
he was really stoked about the situation.
He had a mullet, and he's all fired up, and it's like, that's crime, but it's gold.
Well, I watched one yesterday where it was relatable because Jen's parents, there's a new development.
That's at JENN.KENN.
So where her parents live in the WAC, there's a new development being built, and a lot of houses really close together. And so I suggested to their parents that they should just become nudists and frolic in their backyard, get a hot tub, and then
to Bone Town.
So, oh God! So I sent them a news story from this bloke in Aussie land, and so he was in a similar situation where there was a new development right next to him, and he asked the contractors, "Are those windows going to be frosted? Because they look right into my bedroom." And they said, "Oh yeah, it is." And then the windows went in, and they weren't frosted. So he talked to council, he talked to the mayor, and they weren't going to do anything. So he took the next step and just became nude all the time. And he moved his exercise bike outside. And so he just sit there nude while his dong's flopping around. He was having nude barbecues. And then, so now they will make the windows frosted. So I love Australia for its news stories like that.
Yep. They are champions on the planet.
Thank you to the Dobells for that wonderful question statement.
Yeah. Again, guys, next week, if you have a question, we'd love to hear it. If you want to talk at us, you have us on Messenger.
If you want to send us a boomerang, that'd be great.
All right. So that's a boomerang joke from Marcus.
It's my only one. Or didgeridoo send us a message.
Didgeridoo. The next one is from at Leechtown, and I know who this guy is. He's also the guy that wrote our 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, wonderful.
So may God bless you and keep you, sir.
Jobless.
And I'm not going to read his question.
Well,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off what's going to be probably, if it's It's probably going to be like a 300 episode saga until we get to the end of it.
Okay.
And I'm going to be a part of it. You're going to be a part of it. We're going to have guests to be a part of it. And we're all going to be different characters.
Okay.
And I'm going to start it off right now. And we'll see what happens next week. So, at Leechtown, you motherfucker, you started this. So don't complain about it later. Before I ever ran a casino or got myself blown up, Ace Rothstein was a hell of a handicapper. I can tell you that. I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country. I'm serious. I had it down so cold that I was given paradise on earth. I was given one of the biggest casinos in Las Vegas to run, the Tangiers. And that's all you get today, Leechtown. And his question was...
Hold on. We'll pump the brakes there. 10-4 Big Rig. Was that
Good, buddy?
Was that an Instagram post in the form of a question?
No. He asked a question, and I decided to torture him for 300 episodes for asking it. His question is at Leechtown.
No.
No?
No, I don't think we should get to the question then.
All right. No, we have to. Or it's going to be really annoying.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to know what's going on too.
I'm really
and
lost.
It has to be something that people either look forward to or dread every episode. It's just going to be 30 seconds at the end of each one. And at Leechtown's question, and you can all thank him at Leechtown on Instagram for asking this, is can you just read the script for Casino in its entirety? Marcus as De Niro, Matt as Sharon, and Ryan as Joe Pesci. So at Leechtown, from here and forevermore, every episode we're going to read a passage from Casino. And I expect by 2020 something, we're going to wrap it up. And fucking what a magnificent show that'll be. On that show where we read the final passage, we will pay for a bunch of you to be at a casino in our town. Free drinks for everybody as we read the final scene.
Fucking hell. I'm just glad I got picked as De Niro and not the Pesci.
Yeah.
Although the two youths would be not too bad.
Yeah, I'm Sharon, so I get a lot of, it's my fucking kid. And I have to sleep with James Woods. Oh, that's going to be a bitch to organize.
That's just
anyway,
depressing.
Thank you at Leechtown for making your own life a living hell. So at the end of every show, most shows, we like to let everybody know about something we found recently, a tool, app, resource, something just cool to look at, and share with you something that made our lives a little better, easier. And Marcus always comes up with the best names for this that I've noticed I change instantly, but it's always an inspiration of what you said. So please bring it home this week.
So this week it's called Included Free with a 24-pack. Harkening back to the days of getting a free Corona hat or koozie.
I was going to say, that's exactly what was in my head, is a straw Corona cowboy hat.
Or a beach ball. You're like, aw, inflation.
So free with 24-pack is shit you'll only use in the woods.
I'm going to turn my laptop around and I'm going to show you something, but I'm not going to bring it up if it's something that you were going to bring up.
I wasn't bringing that up.
Fantastic. Okay, so mine is actually pretty relevant due to Matt's recent concert experience. It's the Dropkick Murphys website. It is straight to the point. It's got lots of cool black Gotham graphics on it. It's amazing. It's just band websites are hit or miss, and this one's a hit. This one in particular is done by the Forefathers group, and they do a lot of great work. So yeah, definitely check out Dropkick Murphys, especially their music. If you like it, it's good, it's fun, it's Boston.
So one thing that I'll add to that, just from being at the show, is the Dropkick Murphys not only being like one of the gnarliest punk bands ever, and if you're, give the fucking Bon Iver LP a break for a second and check out a Dropkick Murphys. Like, just get fired up in the morning or for work or whatever. Like, it's so like anthemic. It's so much fun. But their whole stage show, they had this huge like massive mega screen behind them, and every single song had a different animation A lot of them had every word to the song, not karaoke style, but like Rose Tattoo, one of their songs is all this like video of people getting rose tattoos and like the same giant black gothic type, and there's like blood splatters but it goes along with the beat. It goes along with every word.
That's a big production.
Every single song had something going on in the background that directly relates to that song or the band or their heritage or where they came from or whatever.
Yeah.
And a big light show. So yeah, when Marcus just flipped the computer around and showed me the site, it just completely reminded me of how much care they put into the production of the show as well. Where when Rancid came out, they put out a giant Rancid sign on the background and they sang a bunch of gnarly songs, and it's like, fuck, Rancid, they don't give a shit about stage production. But when you see Dropkick Murphys, it's such a team effort, including the media and the lights and everything, and it was a pure delight.
And this is definitely we're going to bleed into a later episode where we watch episodes of Abstract and chat about it. Specifically this one pertaining to the stage designer.
That's the one I'm on. I started and fell asleep.
Man, that is a great episode because I've seen some of her work in person, and then I realized like it's a difference that a show can be between just like a band getting up on stage and playing their songs or some sort of actual showcase and entertainment and piece to look at.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. It's when people know what they're doing, people tend to like it better.
Yeah. So what have you got?
My things real quick. Hey, Google Drive, Dropbox paper is better. Use it for everything. Note taking, presentations. It's simpler, cleaner, better. You don't have to fuck with fonts. It's so no nonsense that Google Drive, you look like the Ford Edison?
Escort?
No, Edsel. Ford Edsel. It was basically like, you know, in The Simpsons when Homer designed a car for his brother and put like everything in it.
The Homer.
That was the Homer mobile.
Yeah.
It's the Ford Edsel was that, and they put every goddamn luxury into that car, and it bombed like a motherfucker. Designers were not listening. Well, they were listening to their audience, but they were listening to everything they wanted and tried to give them everything they want.
Can't do that.
And it never amounts to a clean, focused piece of work. So, Dropbox paper is actually, I'll say Google Drive is the Ford Edsel. Dropbox paper is the Ford Mustang, because after the Edsel came out, Ford was in danger of going bankrupt. They needed a cheap, cool car to save the company. That's how the Mustang was born. And when's the last time you saw an Edsel on the road?
Yesterday.
Exactly.
That's a lie. Well, the Dropbox paper, we had done work with a client and they were using the company that they purchased that turned into paper. And I can't remember for the life of me what it was called, but it's exactly what paper was, where you see like people's icons and their notes were super simple. It's like, wow, this is really great. I can see why you're using this over Drive at that time. And then all of a sudden Dropbox bought it, and it was like a year later, and then paper came out, and I love paper.
Yeah. So Dropbox.com/paper, and stop hating creating shared documents.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody. Check us out everywhere that we are, designersoftheworst.com. Check out the show notes, photos, links, all that horseshit that we put up for every episode. Check us out on all the weird social media things that we occasionally post to. We're on @WorstDesignShow on all social media, as well as SoundCloud.
And I guess we will have to get Joey and Sean back at some point, because we unfortunately had to cut them off because Alien Covenant happened. But we didn't get to ask them why you still give a shit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had to fucking snip that thing off. We'll ask them one day. I'm feeling it'll be as long.
It'll be an episode in itself of why Joey still gives a shit about design.
So thank you for listening, everybody. This has been the Designers of the Worst. Remember, if you make pictures for a living, that's not that bad. And if you think it is, then you're the worst. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.